Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I'm here today with my sort of monthly what have I been up to, what have I been doing type video. Normally I've got lots of things to tell you that I've been doing, but I think this video would be better to be called What Have I Bought and What Have I Been Given, because I haven't really done an awful lot, but I have got a lot of things to show you. Partly because it's been my birthday, and partly because my head is in quite an agitated state, really. It's I'm sort of in limbo, aren't I, because I haven't moved yet, and I'm finding it really difficult to settle myself into anything of any depth, I suppose. I'm finding it quite difficult to just sit and be with myself. So I'm sort of endlessly looking for little distractions, and sometimes that involves buying things. But it has also involved doing lots of mindfulness colouring, trying to meditate, trying to make sure that I'm eating decent food, that I've been doing a little bit of exercise, just generally trying to look after myself, really. And I've noticed with myself that I sort of tend to go through fits and starts with anything that I do in depth, you know, any kind of real journaling or shadow work or anything a bit more heavy with my spiritual practice. And earlier on in the year, I was doing lots of it. You know, there was a lot of shadow work, a lot of journaling, a lot of introspection. And through the summer, I've sort of kind of lost the desire to do that, I suppose. As I said, I've felt restless and a bit agitated, and it's been hard to settle into things. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I've bought for myself, which is just a few things actually. And then I'm going to show you all of the things that were bought for me for my birthday, of which there's quite a lot. There's quite a lot of decks and a book, actually. Well, I bought the book for myself, I can't lie. But I bought these all for myself. And actually, before I show you any of these journals and diaries, I'm going to show you these. Hang on. Can you see this? It'd be hard for you to see them in any real... But these are very thin, sort of slinky, gorgeous feeling material pyjamas that I bought from Sainsbury's in the UK. And they're sort of doing their little Halloween themed costumes and things at the moment. And I didn't really want any of that. But look at these beautiful, beautiful pyjamas, with the cats and the skeletons and the pumpkins. And so I expect you will see me or part of me wearing those at some point over the next month or so. I can't tell you how chuffed I am with those. I was like, I thought they were for children when I first saw them, but they did them in children's sizes and grown-up sizes. So really pleased with those. So what have I got here? So I've had a think about how I'm going to do my journaling and diary keeping for 2024. And in the past, I've bought these sort of quite complicated journals where they give you lots of prompts, and, you know, there's lots and lots of information in them, and there's lots of things for you to fill in and do. And I've found that I end up just getting frustrated with those journals because I'm not very consistent. As I said, things tend to come in fits and starts, and when I'm into it, it's great. But then I could not be into it for a week or two, and then I feel bad about myself, and it just sets off this process that's not really worth entangling myself in, I suppose. So I've been thinking about it and thinking about how I could do it differently, and this is what I've decided for 2024. So this one this Oh, it's still got the cardboard in it. This is going to be my calendar that's probably going to hang in my kitchen, and it's going to be for all of my everyday appointments and bits and pieces. You know, if I've got a dentist appointment or a doctor's appointment, or I need to do something by a certain date, it's all going to go in here. And this is going to be my, let's show you the back. It's going to be my just everyday diary. Instead of having an actual diary, I'm just going to have this calendar. So what have we got here? I like this one here. I meow loudly at 3 a.m, 4 a.m, 5 a.m, and 6 a.m. And that cat actually looks like my cat as well. I bite toes dangling off the sofa. I've had too much catnip. I eat spiders. I wish my cat would eat the spiders, to be honest. I saw a mouse and ran away. So this is the cat shaming calendar. That looks so much like my cat, actually. I attack dogs. Wow. Look, that looks the spit of my cat. So there's that. That's what I'm going to use for all my everyday personal type stuff. I bought this because I do really like to keep up with astrology. I've had moon journals and all sorts of things in the past, but I found this. This is by Rockpool Publishing, and it's for the Northern Hemisphere. It's by Patsy Bennett, and actually it's a fantastic little astrology diary. I'm going to use this for my practice so that I can keep up with all the planetary aspects and what's going on where. But you know, like for instance, there's loads of information in here. It tells you what planets are where all the time. Excuse me, like for instance, Monday the 19th of February, we've got the Sun enters Pisces, Chiron conjunct Moon's North Node, a health matter may require attention, someone close to you may ask for help, and if you need advice or support, it will be available, and the Moon is in Cancer. So, you know, that's a lot of information. There's no, there's a little, I think, a little page, a couple of paragraphs as we go into each new sign, new astrology sign here, I think. And it will tell you a bit about the astrology for your birth sign at the time. But there's no exercises, there's no journal prompts, there's no expectation in this diary for you to do anything except kind of look at the astrology and, you know, maybe reflect on how that's affecting you at that time, or other people, other things in your life. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this. And actually, I think this was about £8 on Amazon. It may have been a little bit more. I bought it in with a few other things because otherwise I wouldn't have got the free P&P with it. But yeah, it basically is a week at a glance diary, monthly sun sign forecasts, tips for excelling during supermoons and eclipse, where to grow, when to take action, new moons, full moons, Mercury retrograde. So there's everything in here that you need for the year ahead. So I'm really pleased with that. And then this other one here, which I am so chuffed with, is just a blank journal. I haven't taken the sticky off it yet, but I don't know whether this fairy shows up in the light for you to see, but look at it. Isn't it beautiful? And you know, the inspiration from it for buying this was because I was bought this deck for my birthday, Tarot of Tales and Legends, and the artist who does the artwork for that deck is called Robert Lang or Richard Lang. I'll check that in a minute. But anyway, this is Lang's fairy books. This is the Olive Fairy, and he did a series of children's fairy stories where he collated and put together stories from around the world, and this is some of his artwork from it. And as I said, this is just a blank journal on beautiful, beautiful thick paper. And what I thought I would do is I would use this for any of my kind of special readings or any kind of special information for 2024 that I want to put in here. I'm not going to use it for my daily draws or little 3-card spreads and bits that I do, but if I do a Celtic cross for myself or a New Year spread or a birthday spread or, you know, anything of any importance, or I've got any kind of significant shadow work, reflections, anything like that is going to go in here. And that's it. That's what I'm going to have for 2024. I'm not going to have a big fancy journal with lots and lots of prompts and information. I've got my little astrology journal and I've got this one. And I think that that's going to be enough for me, to be honest. It's going to be enough to keep me happy without making me feel pressured. So let's get on and show you the things that I was bought for my birthday, because I've been so... Do you know, honestly, this has been one of the best birthdays I've had in years. People have been so generous and kind. It's been just lovely. So, as I said, Patsy T bought me this Tarot of Tales and Legends very kindly. And I haven't done any big spreads or anything with it yet, but I've been looking at it a lot because I love the artwork of the deck more than anything. I mean, this may not turn out to be, you know, a deck that I read with a lot, but I am obsessed with I don't know, just the beautiful fairy, fae, romantic, medieval gorgeousness of the artwork in these cards. They have been on my bed, and I mean, just look, they're just beautiful. So yeah, I'm really, really happy. And because I found that obviously stimulated me to think about who... I said Robert or Richard Lang, didn't I? Look, and it's Andrew Lang. See, that's how my brain works with names. It is shocking. Anyway, it's Andrew Lang, not Richard or Robert. And as I said, he sort of kind of collated all of these fairy stories. These are really old books that have been reprinted over the years. And I think in this one, there is, well, you can see all the artwork, you know. You can see all the beautiful artwork. And some of this artwork is in the Tarot of Tales and Legends. As I said, this has been reprinted over and over. And this has got a lot of very famous little fairy stories in it, like Little Red Riding Hood, and he's done a whole, and Rumpelstiltskin, and he's done a whole series of these books. You can see here there's the blue, the brown, the crimson, the green, the grey, the lilac, and so on, and lots of other fairy stories that he actually wrote himself rather than just illustrated or collated and put together. So I've been reading some of the stories in here when I've had the concentration and the focus to do it. But I hope that might be a long-term project for me, that I can collect some of those fairy story books, because so many of those stories are so nostalgic. I used to read them to my son. I read them myself as a child. I mean, just lovely. The next deck to show you, I struggle to open this, is the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. My friend bought me this. This is the expanded edition, and I think that there are 47 cards in here instead of, what is there normally, 36 in Lenormand. I'm still very new to Lenormand. I think I've got 3 Lenormand decks currently, but I think this one is my favourite. Look how beautiful it is. It's a really lovely little size as well. It feels kind of slinky in your hand. It shuffles nicely, and actually there's just about enough information on these cards for you to see what they represent quickly. I've got a couple of Lenormand decks where it's not immediately clear what you're looking at, and for me, learning that's important. So as I said, I think there's an extra man and woman in there, and there's a few extra cards as well. I'm only going to show you very quickly the decks today, but if there's anything you'd like to see a walkthrough of, do let me know and I will show you properly. This one featured in a video I did the other day, the Creatures Tarot. My son bought me this. This is from the Wootique, Sarah Kathleen. I am in love with this deck already, and it has shocked me because it's such a simple little deck. There's no people. These are just creatures. There's no people in this deck. And considering there's no people, it's a very emotional deck. I find that it triggers my intuition, my imagination really easily. Look at this. The Seven of Cups, look. I just think it's so clever. I think it's so clever and so cute. And it has actually shocked me how much I like it. So yeah, there's that. I may do a proper walkthrough of that. But I think you'll probably be seeing this deck in a reading fairly soon. I'm looking forward to that. So there's that one. I think I already showed you the White Sage, didn't I? This was bought for me by a lovely long-term subscriber, a lady called Sarah, who I don't know anything more about Sarah than that, but I hope I can do this justice, this little deck. Other than flick through it, I've not really done a great deal with it because I'm aware that I think to get the best out of this, I need to have a think about the chakras that go with this. This is a bit of a pippy deck, but you've got the additional layer, the additional depth of the chakras that run through the pip. So look at the birds. It's such a soft and gentle and beautiful deck. I do hope I can do that justice at some point. It's lovely. So I'm well pleased with that. And the little cards with the chakra bits on are great. And it's in a tin. It's in a tin. What else have I got here? MZ at Mystic MZ bought me the Forest of Enchantment for my birthday, which I'm sure you all know much, much better than me. Again, let's see if I can get this out. I've been flicking through this such cute deck. I love Llewellyn decks, actually. They always fit nicely in your hand. They always they just shuffle beautifully. They always have lovely books. I just wish they didn't come in such a big box, but I guess if they didn't, you wouldn't get such a big book, would you? But aren't they beautiful? Somebody said in the comments the other day about this deck that it'd be a really good storytelling deck, and I think it would. I've sort of laid in bed looking at this, and you could easily tell a story with this deck. So the Forest of Enchantment, I'm sure you will see that on my channel. I know that that's a firm favourite of so many people. How many more have I got here to show you? I've got 2 more decks and also 2 little playing card decks. And I bought these alongside the gifts that I bought myself with money from my parents. My parents are still of that age where they won't buy anything online. They don't like to use their card and buy things online, so they tend to give everybody money and then you buy what you want. So I bought myself 2 tarot decks and these. little, these are just playing cards, Waddingtons. The Lord of the Rings, which they were very cheap. They didn't cost much at all, these ones, but they are proper pippy ones. The only pictures you get are the Jack, Queen and King and Ace, yeah. All the rest are just proper pippy playing cards. But still, I do like those. I like a game of cribbage. I don't know whether any of you are familiar with cribbage and having a crib board. So I do like a game of cards. These little Harry Potter cards, I think were a little bit more luxurious. I think they cost a little bit more, and you've actually got a picture on each card here. So I'm not going to try and remember the names of everybody, because you all know what my brain is like for names. But I'm really, excuse me, I'm really, really pleased with those. They didn't cost very much at all, and they're very cute. I'll leave that out actually. So the last two decks that I've got to show you are the two decks that I bought with my mum and dad's money, and it is the In-Between Tarot and the Cat's Eye Tarot, and I am over the moon with both of these. They had both been kind of on my wish list for a long time. The Cat's Eye Tarot is by Deborah Given. It's US Games. And look at the backs. Look at the backs. How have I managed to get the backs round both ways? How have I managed that? There we go, take them out. So, you get a little spread. Really nice. And again, I have not read with these yet. They've just been flicked through. But I can see these will just be a really easy RWS type reading. Look at the chariot. Bad cat, bad cat. Very naughty. Look at this one. The birds or the mice? The birds or the mice? Mean old cats. I really like them. They're very intuitive, actually. You can see here with this Justice card, this is like, for the cat, it's having the right to be able to go in and out and to get that right balance of being in the house and out of the house, I suppose, isn't it? Oh, look at that. He reminds me of my old cat, Big. He was big. Big old tabby. They are beautiful. I love them actually already. God, look at that. So, so, so cute. I will be able to read these, you know, without any study at all, I'm sure. But the In-Between Tarot, this is, I think, out of all of the decks I've got here, and I love all of them, but I think probably the In-Between Tarot, this one, I will be doing some more in-depth work with, because I think it requires it. This is by Janine Worthington and Franco Rivoli, exploring the spiritual space between the arcana. It's Lo Scarabeo, and usually in such a big box, but I think it's because you get the big guidebook. I'd seen a couple of people do walkthroughs of these before I bought them, but even still, they do not, I hadn't done justice to just how amazing these cards are. They really, really make sense to me of how they flow. Each card has got the Fool, like here, this is the Fool here, the start, and then as it flows into the Magician, and we can see the Fool has stepped off the cliff, but he's learned something already, hasn't he? He started to incorporate that energy of the Magician. And here we see the magician who has learnt something from the high priestess and so on. And I think the idea is that as you could lay all of these cards out and they would just tell a story. I mean, how beautiful is that? The Hierophant as it goes into the Lovers. I just think this is such a cool idea. I really, really do. I think I've got the Before Tarot, obviously several ordinary Rider-Waite-Smiths. I've got the After Tarot, I've got the Tarot of the New Vision, and now the In-Between Tarot. And, you know, every single one of them does add another little layer. And you know me, I like to layer things up. I like the depth. These are just beautiful cards. I think this deck was originally designed as just a majors one only, but it's been developed into a full deck. And each one of the, you know, the pentacles and the cups has got kind of a different theme of people. You know, in the coins, in the pentacles, we've very much got this sort of women's lib thing here, you know, votes for women. The women there with the Emperor. And then sort of like the liberation of women as time goes on through the pentacles to the Bill of Human Rights and suffragettes, equality, and then women actually being pregnant here, but also working, which I have to say I'm not entirely convinced anymore is the right thing. It feels to me sometimes that women fought very hard for a freedom that actually has made life harder for them in some ways. I mean, of course, women should not have been subservient to men ever, but you know, to be able to raise children and as well as hold down a career is a big ask. It's a big thing. So I don't know. I'm just rambling. Please don't take any offence. I'm not meaning to be. Well, you know. So anyway, into the Wands, and then I'm not sure what's happening there with those people. What else have we got here? And the Swords. It looks like they're sort of Romans, gladiators, possibly. But yeah, there will be some study of this deck because it is fantastic, and I think it really deserves, excuse me, the study. I mean, look at that, look. The Hermit going into the Wheel. And the Hermit is very sensibly sat right in the middle of that wheel, isn't he? It's a really, really cool deck. So I hope I haven't waffled on too long. I've managed to make this about half an hour, I think, haven't I? Which is pretty good for me, as I've shown you so many things. So yeah. So hopefully some of these decks that you've seen here today, you'll see in my practice and in some readings and bits and pieces over time. As I said, if you'd like a full walkthrough of any of these things or a review, or do let me know. But say hello anyway. I love to hear from everybody. I hope everyone's well. And trying to think if I wanted to say anything else. Not that I can think of at the moment. I will be back before the end of the month, hopefully with an energy check-in reading for October. So I think that's what I've got planned for my next reading. And after that, I'm not entirely sure. As I said, I'm finding it quite hard to really settle myself to anything. So, but anyway, I hope that you're all well. Love to all of you, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.